Hey, greenhorns. Grizzly Joe Grasso here at the top of the show. So this upcoming show is an all Hamish show. See, Tommy couldn't be there because he had things to do, and I couldn't be there because I had family things to do. So hashtag Hamish took it upon himself to film a show all by himself, or rather record a show all by himself. I wish he filmed it. It sounds ridiculous because he was recording while driving by himself. It goes about as good as you can expect it to. There's a lot of nonsense about fitness this, and I only eat this, and macros or whatever. And, he does get into wrestling, and it gets pretty good. But just a word of warning, if, fitness is a trigger for you, or, you just get annoyed like crap at it, you can skip ahead to 16 minutes, 15 seconds, and he gets into wrestling right about then. It's not a bad fitness rant if you're into that sort of thing, but I wasn't there to cut him off, so this is what happens when Grizzly's not around to cut him off. All right, I've blabbered on too long. Let me let hashtag Hamish take it over with his hashtag Hamish show about hashtag Hamish. Oi.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Good evening and welcome to the Road to Wrestling School, the only podcast that is solely dedicated to the journey and of people who are trying to become pro wrestlers in going through pro wrestling school. This is the HOV to the HOP. HOP standing for the House of Pain Neo Superior Pro Wrestling Training Center in beautiful downtown Hagerstown, Maryland. I am the Grizzly Duncan McBain, and next to me is hashtag Hamish Stewart. And as special guests behind me, we have I'm the man with the Asian tan, the killer of man, not the son of Sam. I'm going to hit you with the lefty, but watch out for righty. Your girlfriend's pulling on my tighty whities while I got her nighty. I'm all the flow. I'm ready to go. And Rob Van Dam, I'm the whole effing show. Tommy Seto. Okay, so actually that was just me, hashtag Hamish Stewart, doing all of those intros. Tonight is a very special night, and will be a very intimate podcast, as all two of the other people who are in the car will not be on the podcast tonight. Tommy has some family arrangements or engagements that he's doing. He's going to be down in I think somebody's graduating from college or high school or something, so he's going to a graduation thing. He's out of state. Grizz is, he had something going on. It was a family issue that happened tonight, so he can't be there. So, hooray, hashtag Hamish Stewart's going to carry this podcast all the way up there. So, how you doing, hashtag? I'm doing fine. Thanks a lot, Grizz. Back into the, getting the workout back. I was really... all right, I'm going to stop all that crap. All right, yeah, So yeah, folks. So as you all probably realize, I'm very fitness focused and very hyper motivated to become fit. I'm going to give you a small background and why that is, to let you know why. So several years ago, and we'll go kind of 4 years ago, I was pretty heavy. I was a pretty heavy guy. For my frame, I stand 6 foot tall. And I clocked in at 236 pounds, and that was all fat. There was no muscle in that at all. It was pretty gross. Some guys are have body types where they can kind of carry that off and it looks all right, and okay, so that's fine. I did not. I had a body type where it looked gross, and still to this day, like a lot of my body fat resides in the trunk area. So I have it sort of in the gut, love handles area, and a lot of my lean muscle is shown like in my back, legs, but not in my trunk, which is like what every dude wants is like a real fit trunk, and who cares about I don't care if you can see my quads or, any of that kind of junk or any of the back muscles. They could care less. I mean, and so, so I do too, but beside the point, let's get back to 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was, so it's horribly out of shape. My motto was, this dude just looked at me in a car. He's checking me out on a microphone. Looked at me like I had literally just flashed gang signs at him. Like, oh my God, what is this guy doing? All right, back to the discussion here. So yeah, I mean, my motto kind of was like, we built machines so that we didn't have to do work. I take the car to my local supermarket, which is a legit less than a quarter mile from my house. Easy walk, and you don't need to do any sort of heavy lifting to get there. Always took the elevator, never took the stairs, that kind of thing. And then one day I took a retirement class. My regular job, I have a pretty nice regular job, and they sent me to a retirement class to kind of benefit myself and as sort of a benefit to me. And during the retirement class, this old Irish man who ran the third day of the class, he made you draw a circle on a piece of paper, and he was like, "Hey, here you go. Draw a circle. You guys, you have the potential to get a pension after you leave from work. If you make your full 30, and you have the ability, you're paying into a 401k as well. So you have that ability too. So why not use it? What are you going to do with it? This circle is 24 hours of your day. You're retired now. Put yourself in that mind frame. You're retired. What are you going to do with that 24 hours? Slice it up like a pie." And he goes, "I'll make it easy for you on the first thing. Take a third of it off and put 8 hours in there and put sleep." Okay, so you're sleeping. Then go ahead now, go through the whole thing. So I went in there, and I didn't have a lot to fill in my pie. I do a lot of things outside of wrestling and outside of kind of just puttering around the house. But I was like, I'll probably do some, hopefully some acting or some choreography, or maybe kind of help, some wrestling shows or whatever. But what I didn't have on there was exercise. And the guy was like, "Well, if you don't have exercise on your thing," he got us, if everybody filled it out, he had everybody take a look at it. And he goes, "All right, so if you don't have exercise on your thing, if you're not even exercising 15 minutes to a half an hour a day, your chances of dying prematurely and being premature death being about 60 to between 55 and 65. He was like, "It goes up exponentially. It's very high." And I said, "Oh man, I could do 15 minutes a day. All right, I can do that, right? I can do that." So 4 years ago, I started running. I said, I'm going to run, and I'm going to do it for a month. And if I don't like it, or if I hurt myself, or if I'm kind of done with it, then I'm done with it. And that's 1 month is what you get. So boom. So I start running. And by running, let's be very clear here. I laid out a 2.17 mile course, and I ran about a block the first day, and then walked about another 5 or 6 blocks, then ran or jogged, if you will, the rest of the... Oh my, this is getting very difficult. Without Grizz here, it's tough for him to kind of fill in while I'm turning and doing the things of piloting the car. So anyway, all right, good, I'm in my lane. So now, so I started doing that. So, but it was like, very intermittent. Like I would jog, stop, walk, jog, run. Okay, run. And about 2 weeks in, I could get to the end of the street instead of just 1 block. And then by the end of the month, I could get a third of the way through the course. And then a magical day happened about 3 months in when I could do the whole thing without stopping. Now I wasn't sprinting and I wasn't running, but I was at a light jog pace, and it wasn't a flat course, so there was hills. So I was saying, I might keep this up. I'm going to keep doing this. And it was only 3 days a week, and I started to notice some fat loss, some weight loss. then I said, all right, well, let me do this more than 3 days a week. And I'll do it 4 days a week. And maybe I'll try harder. Maybe I'll run longer. And so I kind of gauged it, faster, and ran almost, 4 days a week for about a year and a half. Yeah, about a year. Lost a lot of weight. Started feeling really good. And then I got into, from that, I said, I have zero muscle mass. And if you'd have known me from when I was in college or when I was a younger guy, I never lifted weights. I never did anything. I mean, God, just the worst. Just no tone, no muscle at all. Just the muscle that you get from living your life and playing video games, which is nothing. So I started to do high intensity interval training that was given to me by a trainer friend of mine, a few workout routines. So I did high intensity stuff for just about a year. I would run, there'd be the days I would run, and then in between I did it's about 4 days of high intensity and 2 days, and then 2 days of running with 1 day off. At this point, I started to get pretty obsessed, I guess you could say, with it. Then after that, after the high-intensity stuff, I moved into weight training. And weight training's been kind of what I've been doing now, and it's been pretty fantastic. Even if you don't want to bulk up, weight training and running together, or weight training and HIIT, high-intensity interval stuff, is the way to go. But during the weight training portion, I started to really focus on my diet and eat properly and in the right macros and in the right sort of ranges for what I wanted to do. And I got at the gym that I go to, they have this machine. Now you can, I don't trust it as far as I can throw it. So these, I think you can go a margin of error of these numbers by probably 3 or 4%. Either way. So last year, the first sort of calculated weigh-in that I took on this thing was in July 6, 2015, and I clocked in at 186 pounds, 25 pounds of fat, 160 pounds lean body mass, making that 13.7 percentage body fat. And my BMI has always been high. I don't know why. If somebody can explain that to me, I've always been above the BMI range. Even at my lightest, which was 176 pounds, I never was able to bring it in under 25 in the BMI. Don't ask me why. I don't know. So let's fast forward to now. So I weighed in, let's fast forward about 6 months. Because from that point, or 8 months or so. So, I went into a real gain period and tried to gain as much muscle and eat pretty heavily. I ratcheted up my calories to 3,200 to 3,600 calories. And at the end, I topped out at 196 pounds. 196. Whoa, that's the rumble strip, everybody, because I'm driving with my leg. Turning the pages of this thing, and so anyway, got to 196. Now in the past 2 months, I've get into a cut period where I'm trying to still expand the muscles, but cut as much body fat as possible. Back down to 12.2% body fat and 188 pounds with 165 pounds of lean body mass, which is good. A lot of movement on that. Why do I tell you all this? Because if I can do it, anybody can do it. I was put together with all the worst parts of a human being, and if I could get myself together, anybody can. What you have to realize is, if you want to make this giant change, and I'm still a legitimate 2 years away from the body I want. I want a real lean frame with. Let's be frank, I just want to see abdominal muscles. I want to see that sort of defined six-pack. 2 years, I think I'm 2 years away from seeing it. with the proportion muscle growth. So again, why do I say this? Because anybody can do it, but what you have to do is it's a total sea change in terms of how you think and how you live. You can't look at it as a diet. You have to look at it as a life choice. You have to look at being active. You have to look at the long term, and it's hard to do that. It's hard to look. And that aha moment for me was that retirement class, because I thought to myself, I said, man, I'm working so hard. I could have a pension at the end. I could have this 401k and this stuff. I want to spend the time with my family. I want to, I love my wife and I love my son, and I want to spend time with them and be able to enjoy it and not be run down, gross, achy joints. So I'm pro wrestling, of course, because that helps the joints like crazy. And the back. Oh, it's the best on the back. If you've never pro wrestled before, it's a good place to drop this plug in here. If you never pro wrestled before, you can come out and watch us at Renaissance Rumble at the Maryland Renaissance Festival. Check us out at www.renaissancerumble.com, or look us up on Facebook at facebook.renaissance. I don't know, whatever. Look up Renaissance Rumble on the Facebook thing. You people who do this could figure it out. Come down. We run an actors workshop once a year. By the time this thing comes out, I think it'll be over. But hit us up. We're always willing to we could set private lessons up. We can set private things up. Whatever. Hit us up, and we can do it. Anyway, so that's the spiel about the little intro into why I always talk about fitness, because it's a very big part of my life now. I weigh everything that I eat. I weigh and is portioned. And I know exactly how much I'm eating and from what. Which might seem weird and might seem real freakishly controlling, but it's actually very freeing, because then I don't have to worry. Did I eat something wrong? Is this, oh my God, should I worry about that? Or was it not enough? Am I not, giving enough in the gym? No, if I give enough in the gym, my metabolic rate stays about where it is, and and I eat a certain amount of calories. Right now, I've brought it down to 2,300 calories that I try to stick to. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose body fat by doing that. I can gain some muscle and lose body fat. So it's a very freeing thing, and it's a life change. So it goes with any life change. Embrace it. Really embrace what you're doing, and go both feet in. Dive in both feet, and don't look back. So, so let's move into something more pro wrestling appropriate. So, going up to the House of Pain tonight, we'll see who I get to match up against. Hopefully, get to heel again. I think my heel work is starting to really come along. Got some good pointers from some good vets that have helped mentor me and Grizz. So there's some good stuff that I can kind of pull out. Some of the corner work is slow down work. I take somebody out of the corner with a snapmare, and then sort of apply that sort of rest hold in the middle after doing some running at them from the ropes, or whipping them in from the ropes into the corner. Get them out of that corner fast. Also pin a lot. I got to remember. Heels want to go for that pin. They want to go for that win. And also, you're wrestling. Wrestling is supposed to be a fight, and I think, I get so much in my head when I get in there, like, okay, is this the shine? Okay, well, here comes the heat. Okay, now this is the heat. Are we almost finished the heat? Am I heating enough? Do I got the crowd? What am I doing? I got to stop. Just drop it. And that's what tonight is going to be about. Grizz isn't here, so... when he hears this will probably, make him feel good. But get nervous wrestling in front of Grizz. Get nervous wrestling in front of some of the other people that know me as well. Because you always want to do well. And you always want to uphold your name and uphold, kind of what you've done. So, without him here, maybe a little pressure's taken off my back. And, and I'll, and maybe I feel a little bit more willing to fail than I would if he was here. And you got to clear that mind and just go out there and go, I can have an idea of what I want to do on my heat, but it's okay if it doesn't go that way. I mean, you've got plenty in your mental Rolodex here that you can pull from. You've got clubs, chops, You know, you got body slams, you got all sorts of stuff. There's a ton of things that I can pull from and do it. And I got to take it, you know, the next level is wrapping that stuff that I've got into a cohesive psychology that means something about why I'm fighting somebody. So, for instance, the heel character that I play is, or that is me, is I wouldn't call, you know, I want to call him a weasel. So he's kind of weaselly, kind of, you know, so this is kind of weird because I'm teamed up with Grizz, and Grizz he's shorter than I am, but wider. And in pro wrestling, like visuals, that means he's stronger. You know, if he holds his body stronger, it makes him look, you know, he's like, I'm a stronger guy. I have a more well-defined physique, and I'm not, you know, so I'm not one to toot my own horn too much, but it's all right. It's decent. I mean, I've worked on it. I'm not, you know, I don't feel ashamed if I take a shirt off. I feel pretty good. I've got well-proportioned muscle mass, and it's defined. You can see where the shoulders start. You can see where all the, you know, but with that, but with that, if I stand next to Grizz, the prevailing idea is, well, you can't be a tough guy because Grizz is the tough guy, so you got to be the weasel guy. So, or you got to be something like that. You know, you could be scrappy, but you also have to be sort of weaselly, like poking eyes and kind of, you know, taking the real underhanded stuff, and not like Grizz where he kind of like will be a slower mover, and people will outthink him. And I can also run the outthink, you know, the heel that thinks he's outthinking people route too, which who knows, might try to run that tonight too. But so, you know, and this is just vanity, total vanity. You get into wrestling for different reasons. The reason I got into wrestling is these people are supermen and superwomen. They do fantastic things that should hurt a normal human being. You would think somebody gets slammed in the real world, fight over. No, these guys keep rising, and here they come. The fight never ends. They're very strong, and they want to do it. That's why I wanted to do it. But not being able to play a guy who, like, here he comes. He's a strong guy. He's fighting, you know, fighting back up, or, you know, he's a strong heel, big monster heel. Well, I mean, my body type dictates that. So, I mean, obviously that does it. But, you know, it's kind of a sad realization that we all have to come to. I'm not the pretty princess that I thought I was. Going to be that Weasley heel, but that's all right. Because I kind of like that, because the three guys that influenced the way that I work is Ric Flair, obviously. I mean, he's, if anybody talks about heel work, Ric Flair is in the top 2 people. Roddy Piper, because of his sort of like his fire and his enthusiasm and that sort of wicked stare of his and his the unorthodox sort of style he would do. And, you know, this will kind of come out as a shock. I actually like and sort of like to be influenced by, what's his name, Randy Orton, who uses more of that sort of like, you know, slithering psychology, that sort of, you know, he's a kind of slithering out of the shadows, or he's going to get you out of nowhere, that kind of stuff. So I don't have a finish move. Maybe that'd be a good thing to have if I'm going to beat somebody one day with a finish move. I give a pretty decent super kick, but I just don't think super kick is the thing for hashtag Hamish. I got this little drop kick combo that I do out of a snapmare. If I kick you down in the middle of the ring and you're on your knees or you're sitting down, sneeze is coming. Okay. Bless you. Thanks, Grizz. I appreciate it. It's real nice of you. So, yeah. Another thing that I got to kind of work on, too, is is the charisma personality bit of it. There's no way you can't. You. Oh God, I was just about to go into. You can't teach that. You can't teach charisma. You just either have it or you don't. But you can sharpen it. If you can take what you have and sharpen it and make it better. I think the clear example of people who are you cannot take your eyes off when they get in the ring. Shinsuke Nakamura rises immediately to the top. He's just an enigma. I mean, the guy is. It just works, though. The same thing with Enzo Amore. Enzo, the whole look of him, I look at him and I just go, ugh, what is this? This guy just kind of put all this on for the effect of it. Let's hear him tie it together. And then he starts talking. Brilliant. I mean, guy's just brilliant on the mic, brilliant on the stick. So those guys, they bring that there. The Rock as well. He could sit there on the mic and then boom, he's already gotten over with the crowd before he's even taking his shirt off or taking a bump or even walked down to the ring. The guy's over. Chris Jericho do the same thing. He's got that, he's got that charisma. He's got the ability to do it. I would even go as far as to say the Hardy Boys. They're horrible stick workers. I think I'm talking out of turn here. Now they're professionals and they have made it to the top echelons. So don't get me wrong. Maybe you don't. I'm sure the Hardys, when they hear this, because the fives of listeners that we have, which I can almost rattle off by name, will immediately forward this to the Hardys inbox on Twitter, and oh God, I'll never wrestle again. But yeah, they're not the greatest on the stick. They're not the greatest on the mic there. But my God, when they come out in their entrance, they're over with the crowd before they wrestle somebody else, because you know who they are, and they bring that energy, and that's what I'm going to work on. I got to work. The wrestling skills are coming along, and they will be what they will be. And, the technical little aspects of it, the things that our illustrious trainer John Rambo gives us, okay, this is where this goes. You need to speed this up. Don't, last week I made the mistake of, at the end when it was we're ready to kind of take it home, I had my opponent down, and, I think I see a cop. Yeah, check you out. You ain't getting me, buddy. Podcast mother lover. Ha! Look at me in the eyes. So I hit my opponent Tremor. I was wrestling for the belt last week. What? Hashtag Hamish Stewart, belt contender. And had to get beat by a gimmick. Had to get slugged in the face by a gimmick there that Tremor had to use to take the win. Man, I was on the verge of being the youngest in terms of how long he's trained, and not actual age, champion in HOP. I'm kidding, of course. But regardless of that, so I wrestled him. So I get to the end. We're about to do the take home, which for you folks means time to finish it, time to go home. So I get knock him down with something, and then I sort of lollygag and sort of mug to the crowd and give them try to cool them off. And nope, don't do that, man. You're in a fight. You're at the end. You hit him with something big. He kicked out. Pick him up, and you're going to hit him with something big again to finish it, man. And then so boom, pick him up to finish it. Then he strips the hands away, rakes the eyes, and then we get into the gimmick bit. But it slows it too far down if I didn't jump right into it, and I didn't. And good for and that's learning stuff. That's the things that you learn up here at the House of Pain, which is, you just can't. You're not going to learn it unless you're either in a match or you're simulated matches with a trainer there who has the eye and has the ability to diagnose that, which we're extremely lucky for. We got a guy who's been through the territories and then has been training people for years, and it helps out immensely. Also built into the fitness plan makes me, I guess kind of get a little cardio out of this, and by little I mean quite a lot. You blow up a lot in the ring, but yeah. So there's a lot to learn, a lot to do. So tonight, focusing on bringing that energy, living that grimy Scot that I am, Hamish Stewart, that bar fighting Scot, calls himself one of Scotland's favorite sons. Him and the Grizzly, Scotland's favorite sons, which obviously we would not be, but hopefully that'll read someday, where we come out all hibbity up and people hate us and we could get our gimmick together and then we spit that out and then of course not, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's that. So I'm pulling up to downtown, beautiful downtown Hagerstown, Maryland. I'm one light away before I reach the House of Pain, Neo Superior Pro Wrestling Training Center. So I'm gonna tap out and log. Oh yeah, that goes. And another thing, I need to get that. And shout out to Robbie Page for going, hey, watch these guys' matches for submissions and holds to kind of hold you over in the ring. That's one of the things that I always total deer in the headlights. If I plant you with something and then you kick out, I'm always like, crap. Now what do? I'll just boot you a few times. No, I got to slap on a hold and let them kind of work, work them down with it. That's what I'm doing tonight. I'm just going to grab some arm hold, and figure something out. Just that's a good idea. Just grab an arm hold. That's a great wrestling term. Grab the arm hold. What kind of... This shows you my level of ability in terms of submissions and holds. I got a rear chin lock, give you a little surfboard action, a little stretcher that way. You do the octopus stretch, or the abdominal stretch, not the octopus. Do the abdominal stretch, give you the Oklahoma stretch. But those things are you got to go into those. It's not I'm going to pick you up and just kind of I got your arm. Now I got to figure that kind of stuff out. I'm the worst at that. Still so bad. Anyway, that's why we train, so we get better, and that's why everybody trains so they can get better. So you should be training. Anything in your life that you want to get better at, jump in with both feet and train as hard as you can. I'm tapping out here. I'm signing off. There's no Grizzly Joe Grasso. There's no Tommy Seto, but there is a hashtag Hamish Stewart here, and he's saying goodbye from beautiful downtown Hagerstown. Sweet Jesus, just drove by a guy who is maybe 5'4" in a camo vest with cut-off sleeves, or it looks like a camo shirt. He cut the sleeves off. Jesus Christ, this place is so skeezy. All right, signing off from here. We will see you down the road and in the ring. That is such good energy. That ending sounds good. I like that.